What's going on, everybody? Welcome to KorrCast, the World of Warcraft edition. So this is going to be my new show where I just talk to you guys about World of Warcraft news and upcoming stuff dealing with the game and my opinions on how it will affect us, how it will affect me, how it will affect the game, and everything. So today, I'm just sitting here browsing the internet, checking some stuff out, reading up. Okay, I was on Facebook. And all of a sudden, I see this Wowhead post, and I'm like, what's this? News roundup. Proving Grounds. Seems interesting. I'll take a look. Now, if you don't know what Proving Grounds is basically this place where you go in Kunlai Summit. It's in the Temple of the White Tiger, I believe. There, you can talk to some guy and enter your personal scenario. Inside this personal scenario, you can choose to do one of 4 different modes for each role in a dungeon. So DPS, tank, or healer. In one of these 3 roles, you have 4 options. Bronze, silver, gold, and endless. Now those kind of sound like rankings of some kind, or achievements of some kind. They are. If you're going to go into Proving Grounds as a tank and choose bronze, then they are going to test you as a tank and test your knowledge as a tank and see how well you fare up. Pretty cool, huh? So what they do specifically for tank, so an example of what they do kind of is specifically with a healer, they throw you into Proving Grounds, they throw a couple people in your party, and you have to keep them alive. Well, mobs come at you endlessly, or what seems like endlessly, and they try to kill them. It's your job as a healer to keep them alive, and that's what you got to do. So it looks like Watcher posted this blue post either today or yesterday, so either February 21st or 22nd. Let's just take a look at it quick and analyze it a little bit. To at least get everyone on the same page in terms of information, since a summary of a translated version of a translation of a few sentences and a single interview may not be the best foundation for a 24-page discussion, here's an overview of our current thinking. We will have both normal and heroic versions of our max level dungeons. Note, in Mists of Pandaria, we did not have level 90 dungeons. They just had level 90 heroics. So that's pretty cool that they're bringing that back. That's something that they've had in Burning Crusade, Wrath of the Lich King, Cataclysm, I think. Maybe not Cataclysm, I don't know. But definitely in those first 2. There will be no special requirement other than the basic level/item level requirements on queuing for normal dungeons or looking for raid. Cool, nothing special there. Level up quest gear will get you into normal dungeons/scenarios, and normal dungeons/scenario gear will get you into looking for raid. Heroic dungeons will be more challenging than the normal versions. Not brutally difficult, mind you, just somewhat more demanding. Good. I wouldn't mind brutally difficult. I wouldn't mind Burning Crusade difficult again. Finally, you will need a silver Proving Grounds medal in a given role in order to queue for random matchmaking for a heroic Warlords dungeon. Now most of you are probably thinking, what the And justifiably, most of us saw Proving Grounds come into the patch notes, or maybe didn't even see it at all, and haven't touched them. So basically what this means is if you want to tank a Warlord's heroic level dungeon, you need to first get a silver medal in the Proving Grounds as a tank. And this can be a pretty difficult task right now. And the rest of the blue post, they kind of go on to explain things a little bit, but at the bottom they do say that, and yes, we realize that by formally using Proving Grounds as a qualification, it will be incumbent upon us to further refine their balance and mechanics. We will be updating them for Warlords, and we are confident that we can make them a fair test of baseline ability within a given role. So that's really good, because right now I couldn't do Proving Grounds as a tank. Maybe that just means I suck, or maybe it means that they need to fix something. Oh, one thing that I missed there. You will need a silver Proving Grounds medal in a given role in order to queue for random matchmaking for a heroic Warlords dungeon. If you form a pre-made group, you can zone in regardless, and no such requirement applies. So, thinking back to Burning Crusade before looking for dungeon, you just had to form your own 5-man in order to run any dungeon. Normal, heroic, whatever. Or you could try and do it with 4, but that wasn't too smart. So essentially, you either need a full 5-man group, guildies, friends, whatever, or a silver medal in your role in order to do any heroic dungeons in World of Warcraft. Now, some of you are going to be like, what? this sucks. I'm never going to be able to do heroic dungeons. They're going to scale back the proving grounds so that everyone can handle them. Everyone can do them. So it's not going to be hard. Like I said, it's hard for me right now, but after seeing this post, first thing I'm going to do after I get done making this video and putting it up on YouTube is I'm going to hop onto proving grounds and give it another shot. Now, if they actually stick with this plan, what Blizzard is doing is bringing back something to the game that they took out in Burning Crusade. For many, many dungeons, in fact, I think for almost every single raid, if not every single raid in the Burning Crusade, you needed to get atoned, or at least one group member or one raid member had to get atoned to the dungeon, which meant that you need to get keyed for the dungeon. You had to go through an excruciating amount of quests, dungeons, and just random stuff in order to even walk through an instance entrance for most of the raids. Now, what does this mean for casual players? Nothing, really. Casual players are still going to be able to do level 90 normal dungeons. Those normal dungeons are going to get you into looking for raid. The really casual player right now in Mists of Pandaria does heroic dungeons to get gear, to do looking for raid to get gear. And then eventually, if they get past this looking for raid, getting all their gear and looking for raid, they might try and join a flex raid team right now. The only thing that's going to change in Warlords is just like with the raids, they're scaling everything back one. So with raids, right now, if you're in a flex team, that's actually going to become the normal team. Right now, if you're on a normal team, that's going to become the heroic team. And right now, if you're on a heroic team, that's going to become the mythic team. Now, for casual players, instead of doing heroic dungeons and getting into looking for raid, you're going to do normal dungeons and normal scenarios and get into looking for raid. And then, if you're good enough and you follow through with proving grounds, then you're also going to be able to do heroic dungeons. And I'm guessing, they didn't state it in this blue post, but I'm guessing that with getting into heroic dungeons, you're going to be able to get better gear in order to get into raid. So I'm guessing that looking for raid item level is going to be a little bit lower, a little bit higher, or right around the same level as heroic dungeons. That would be the only thing that makes sense. It wouldn't make sense for you to be able to do looking for raid but not heroic dungeons, but get better gear in looking for raid than in heroic dungeons. That just wouldn't make sense at all. So personally, I really like this idea. I think that adding an atonement for heroic dungeons is great. That means people going into heroic dungeons know that everyone in your group knows what they're doing, theoretically. Everyone in your group knows how to get a silver medal in Proving Grounds, which means that they at least know how to play their character to some extent. I believe DPS have to demonstrate their ability to use their several forms of crowd control in order to actually survive the Proving Grounds, which is really cool. So that means that you know that any DPS that comes in, any hunter that comes in, any mage that comes in, they know how to frost block something, or they know how to sheep something, they know how to hex something, they know how to sap something. They know what they're doing, which is really great. So my recommendation to all of you is just get out there, go back to Proving Grounds and give it a try again. If you've done it and you failed, don't give up. Keep trying. All right, let me know in the comments below what you think of Blizzard using Proving Grounds as a form of qualifying in order to run heroic dungeons, and what you think that'll do to the hierarchy of raiding and doing dungeons in general. It kind of seems weird that raid gear would be at the same level or even underneath heroic dungeon gear, but maybe that's just where they're planning on taking it. All right, that's all I've got for you guys today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.